Hello and welcome to episode 4 of the Budget Adventure Show. On this trip, we're heading up to Mt Lawson State Park, about 60 kilometres east of Wodonga. Trekking to the summit, then heading further east to Shelley. I couldn't come up to Mt Lawson without stopping in and showing you the Boggy Creek Trestle Bridge on the part of the old Wodonga to Cudgewell railway line. This whole area is full of old trestle bridges like this, built back in the early 1900s. Workmen making stuff like this out of blue gum, local timber, and here we are over 100 years later. It's just a shame we've had to cut the ends off it, stop tourists walking out on it. Because even though it's still standing, it is over 100 years old, and that deck's nowhere near as good as it was when she was built. Hopefully season 2 I'm going to get up here and do the whole Cudgewell railway line from start to finish. I need Lake Hume to drop a lot because old Tallangat is just going underwater at the moment, and a lot of the old pre-50s railway line embankments all underwater as well, so need the Hume to drop, and hopefully I can get out there and do this whole section from Wodonga up to Cudgewell, check out all these old trestle bridges, and because a lot of them are still standing, some aren't, but that's it for Boggy Creek. Let's head on up to Mt Lawson. Five minutes down the road and we get our first obstacle. Now normally, rule of thumb, if I can get over an obstacle, I'll leave it there. As you can see here, motorbikes have been able to get over this fallen tree quite easily, but unfortunately it was a little bit too high for the vehicles to get over. So we broke rule number 1 and didn't bring a chainsaw into the high country, so the only thing left to do was to winch it. After setting up a snatch block off into this bush, we're able to use our maths we learned back in high school, trigonometry, bomb das and all that good stuff to drag a log off a road. I'm glad I paid attention in school. Once we cleared all the crap off the road, it was time to get going. Heading to the highest mountain in the area, Mt Lawson. After the break, we make it to the summit and get a look at some of them spectacular views of the high country. Welcome back to Budget HQ with the equipment check. Storage and four-wheel drives, wagons, utes, tubs and your dual cab utes. Doesn't matter what you drive, you need to be able to find a way of packing stuff into it, and you can go high market with your big plastic army trunks and that sort of stuff, or you can go cheaper with your Bunnings tubs, 50 litre or smaller, or even this here that I've got, $10 backpack from Kmart. It depends what you want to take with you and how you want to pack it away. Something like that I can put behind the seat of the cruiser, and I'll open it up and show you what's in a minute. Other storage from Bunnings. Actually, this is a reject shop for about $10 too. Little set of drawers, pepper and salt, cutlery for 2 people, and all your sort of kitchen stuff, teaspoons, Panadol, couple of bandages, first aid kit, that sort of stuff, and that just velcros in the back so it doesn't move around. But we'll have a look at the backpack and I'll show you what's in there. Right now, so let's have a look what we've got in here. Little pocket at the front, mozzie coils, and your washing up sponge. Again, it's just handy, all your little stuff that can spread around and go everywhere, just to pack away. Behind the seat, coffee cup. I like the sealed ones just so if you are driving, don't spill it. These flies keeps all that stuff out of your coffee. Some hand towel, paper, white serviettes, some plastic cups just for the kids. Got plastic and paper and steel plates all mixed up. A couple of steel plates, a heap of paper and plastic plates too, if you've got a fire and Stave's doing the dishes. As we've seen before, also got any, that'd be a 30cm frying pan, sits in there as well, and all your plates sit inside them, so again taking up less space. What else we got? Second coffee cup, as I said, I normally set up for 2 people. And 2 big cups as well for nighttime refreshments. That's that one. Go to the back section. Normally chopping board goes in the back, and normally the knife as well, but the knife's not in here at the moment, it's been washed, so all that stuff into a little $10 backpack like this. As I said, behind the seat, I can strap it down to your roof rack if need be. You might even be able to hang it on the back of your passenger seat or something. Just all that sort of space fits in something like that, where to put that into a container, whether it be a 10, 15, 30 litre container. Stuff like your frying pan not being square, you've got the handle you've got to worry about. That just adds to more space you take up. Even if I had all that back in there. Cups. And normally my butcher's knife would be in there for the chopping board as well, but as I said, she's been washed, so. And being a $10 Kmart bag, the zippers are shit out. That would. So you're probably 3 or 4 inches flat, and they're normal size bag, so something like that. Definitely worth getting. Makes packing your vehicle easy. And if you're going high end to some of these military trunks and the big plastic trunks, if you can get them with the your top tray in. Again, in the camper trailer, I had this before. All your cutlery, plates, and that sort of stuff on one side. All your spatulas, utensils, that sort of thing in there as well. Your pepper and salt spices. Then underneath, just had a 2-ring gas cooker, gas bottle just went on the roof rack of the cruiser, and again, just all your cooking gear in something like this. You get to where you're going, whether it's bolted on the tray, you're sitting in the tub, or packed up in the back of your camper trailer, just pull it out, sit on the ground where you're cooking, and everything's there at your fingertips. As we go through different seasons, different episodes, I'll point out when I'm using some of this stuff, just so you can see practical application in the field. And again, just how easy and how cheap you can do it. If you've got the money to buy something like this, do it. You can get the little cube to half ones as well, or put your gas bottle, your cooker, that sort of stuff in it, watertight. And that way, if you're using your car for work purposes or whatever on the weekend, and you're ready to go camping, grab the swag, throw the box in, throw the bag in, and off you go. Go and enjoy the outback or this beautiful country of ours. Mt Lawson State Park, here looking east towards Shelley and Kiwitong. Established in 1998, Mt Lawson State Park covers over 130 square kilometres, or 32,500 acres. The summit itself is just over 1,000 metres tall, which isn't that high, but it's one of the highest mountains in the area, which gives you some spectacular views. Here we are up on top of Mt Lawson, and you flat out find a day up here when it's not windy, to some scale anyway. Not as windy up here as what I've seen it sometimes, and nearly blow you off the rocks. But nice view out over the north there. A bit hazy because of the fires that are burning in the area, of course, at the time. Murray River's just over that first hill there. It comes all the way up past Burrawy, up to Gingelic, and yeah, some view and drop. We don't quite have the elevation on the eastern side here to see over the trees, but Shelley off to the distance there, Kuitong around a bit further, and then forward to Corryong and the Snowy Mountains. But one thing I have found, if you come around here, that is a big ass round rock. And here I am wishing I had the bottle jack in the car, because that's got Bottle Jack Challenge written all over it. Yeah, doesn't make a sound going down the hill. There's plenty of room near the summit for camping and picnicking, whether it's a day trip or overnight. Just be careful during winter because it gets mighty cold up here. Here we have another tree across the road, but this time we're able to drive around it, so we leave it in place. Now this is a private plantation. Just be wary, a lot of plantations in northeast Victoria are privately owned and not open to the general public due to safety concerns with picking and earth moving equipment working around the sites. Finally, we come to Walker's Fire Break, a spectacular strip of land cleared between pine plantations and the forest. So wide and long, you can probably see it from space. That night we made it to a camp spot, Pike's Dam, on the Shirley-Waller Road. It's about time too, because I'm getting hungry. G'day and welcome back to the Budget Adventure Show kitchen. Today we're going to do something nice and simple, spaghetti bolognese. I've shown you some of the simple stuff on the road to prepare and cook, and this is no exception. You can either go the frozen stuff that you pre-prepare at home. This is some homemade pasta sauce, meat, onion, all that sort of good stuff in it. Frozen, back sacked, pull out of the freezer when you're ready to go. Or you can go the other ways, you can buy something to add to your spaghetti. The Campbell's pasta sauce isn't too bad, it's actually got a bit of flavour to it, but again, pepper and salt and all that sort of stuff. And something I've started doing recently is canning, preserving homemade pasta sauce. Make it the way you want it. You don't have to add all the stuff afterwards once it's cooked. Meat protein free, of course, because botulism. But there's 3 different ways of making spag bol out on the road without having to take a tray of mince, jar of your domino sauce, tomatoes, onions, and then cooking it all. Hour or two cooking it all, getting it all done with the fade and light and all that at the end of the day. So this is nice and easy. I've got the hot water boiling now. Cook your pasta as it says on the back of the pack. Doesn't have to be spaghetti pasta, spirals, elbows, penne, whatever you got. Stuff like that fits in the back seat rest under the seat. You can sort of sit the stuff everywhere. So we'll wait for this water to boil and then we'll start cooking some pasta. Jeez, like hell's about to open up, but we'll see if we can get this done before it rains. Alright, water's boiling, so I'm going to start cooking some pasta. Now, normally if I'm cooking a full domino jar, I think they're a 300 and something mil jar, 400 mil jar, you'd use a full pack, because one, you're eating yourself and you're not going to pig out. Probably about a 50-cent piece you want to grab of the pasta without losing it all. About that, so yeah, about 50% piece diameter. That's normally a good serve, and that with the pasta, you might have some leftovers that you can throw in a toasted jaffa or something in the morning. So throw that in, mix it around. Oh, ant in there. I don't add any oil or anything to the pasta while it's cooking. It just makes it hard to wash the pot later. All I'll do is I'll add a bit of salt. While you're sitting around having a beer, just give it a bit of a stir. And I've never had pasta that cooks as quick as it does on the packet. They reckon 9 minutes for this stuff, but it's been going for about 8 now, and it's starting to get soft, but it's still too chewy. Bye, bloody wind. Okay, so there's 3 things you shouldn't do when you're trying to do a TV show. Don't work with kids, don't work with animals, and make sure your gas bottles are full before you start a cooking segment. Mine wasn't, so I've had to go plan B, which is an updated version of the last little jet burner that you've seen. Once these noodles are starting to get a bit soft, which they are now, that's when the sauce just goes straight in. Gently on top. It'll take about 5 minutes for the heat to go through that sauce in the packet. If it's a little bit longer, it doesn't really worry. This is microwave safe plastic for the back seal stuff. So once that goes in there, just sit back, relax, turn the heat down a little bit. Although with the wind blowing, I can't turn it down too much. And yeah, in about 5 minutes, we'll be tucking down to some spaghetti bolognese. Rightio, so after that 5 minutes everything's done, so I'll turn the gas off because we don't need that on anymore. As I said before, 9 minutes for the pasta to cook. Realistically, with the wind blowing, it might have done it, but it's a bit of a losing battle when you're out in the elements like this, so just take that out there and let it sit. Water drains through the table and doesn't pool everywhere. Thank you, ironing board. Grab your strainer,
rid of some water. Move you out of the way. There's a little bit of water left in the bottom of the pan. It doesn't matter too much, just it gives a bit more moisture for them just here to mix around the sauce. So cut him actually I normally mix it all up because I like the hot sauce cooking through the pasta. Normally you can leave it on the heat for another minute or two to cook through, but because no one else does it, we'll fork, bring the pasta out into the plate. You can leave a little bit of the water behind too if there's some there. Yep, it's done. Cut your pouch open. It's normally easy to cut straight across and get rid of the top flap completely. And it is hot. Put him over. Look at that. Not having too much of the home, the goodness of home. Something like this, quick, easy, and just like you make it at home. Another trick: spaghetti bolognese isn't the only thing you do this. Any of your pasta sauces you can freeze or can before you go. I do the same thing with rice for stir fries. So same thing, freeze your stir fry mix in a small container, seal it. It's good for months in the freezer. When you go away, all you're doing is boiling rice in your pan or your pot, and yeah, it can't be any easier than that. So I'm going to have some. I'd say just like your mama made it, but I was making it for mum too, so bon appetit. Plucks Dam is part of a wildlife preserve, and the dam is full of ducks, and lots of ducks means lots of duck crap, so I probably wouldn't suggest swimming in the water, even though it would have been refreshing after a hot day. That night we sat around a large fire, telling stories about past trips, having some beers, and listening to the wild dogs howl on the neighbouring hills. But before long it was morning, time for some breakfast, and to pack up and head home.